I'm going to take you through the steps of using coursing to separate your kitchen tickets into smaller printed tickets so that the cooks will have an easier time preparing your food and that your ticket won't be so long that it actually prevents them from being able to see the grill. So, I have a screen I'm going to share with you that has an order that I've rang in. The scenario here is I had 6 people at a table. I rang in their food, and as I was entering their food order, 2 more people showed up, 2 joiners, right? And so I got their drink orders, and they told me that they would quickly come up with a food order too. And so I waited, and I rang in their 2 food orders. So these items are all sitting here rang in, but they're unsent. I have not sent any of this to the kitchen. So anytime you have a food order with 6 or more orders on it, we'd really like you to split that up into smaller tickets. You cannot hit the send button and do that. You have to go through a few additional steps. The reason we want you to do that is because the tickets that print in the kitchen are longer, the more food items that are on them, right? That makes sense. There comes a point after about 6 items, sometimes less, depending on how involved or how detailed the items are, where the ticket is physically so long that it hangs down in front of the cook's view of the grill, right? So they're standing there and the ticket is actually hanging in front of their face. Obviously, that's very difficult to work with or work around. So, what we want to do as servers is print smaller tickets um, so that they can hang those on the line and see what they've got going on in a manner that makes working much more ergonomic and much more doable for them. The way we're going to do that is we're going to separate our food items into courses before we send them. Now, here at Truman's, this is not a 3 course or a 5 course restaurant. Occasionally, obviously, people will get appetizers or a salad, and those are considered different courses. We will use courses to send our appetizers to the kitchen with instructions to send them out first. Okay, so that's going to be the first part of this. And then the second part is separating our food items into separate courses again, so that the kitchen will get separate printed tickets. With this computer system, there's no other way to send them separate tickets. Unless, and you may do this, you ring in 4 items and hit send. Ring in 4 items and hit send. And that's the rule of thumb generally. If you're going to have more than 6 items on a ticket, you need to split it into four, right? So 4 items and then 2 items on the next, 4 items and 3 items, so on. You get the drift, basically, though. A maximum of about 4 items a ticket is ideal for the cooks and for reading a ticket in a way that is logistically sound. So, I have 8 food orders entered onto this ticket right now. I'm gonna add an appetizer just to complicate things a little more. So let's say these 8 people gave me their food orders, and then they said, you know what, wait, we want a couple of appetizers to come out first. So before their food, right? An appetizer, it's implied they want it before the rest of their meal. So we need to communicate that to the cooks. We're gonna say that they want a plate of nachos. Um, all right, so nachos are down here. And our nachos come as chicken nachos, chili nachos, or chicken and chili nachos. So when a customer tells you they want nachos, the right way to ask them that question is to say chicken, chili, or both. The nachos are down here under extreme loaded nachos near the bottom of the screen. And when I have a large party and they ask for an appetizer, I'm going to put this appetizer under the seat number of the person who asked for it. So in this case, let's say it was seat 1. So I'm going to assign these nachos to seat 1. They want chicken and chili, so I'm going to add that button. I'm going to stop what I'm doing before I add this to the check. And under food preps, which is a modifier list over here on the right, it's one of these lists where you can choose, different things to change or supplement your particular item you're bringing in. I'm going to select this button under the food preps list that says out first. And when I hit add to check, if you'll look down here at the bottom, I've got extreme loaded nachos, chicken chili out first. That's going to communicate to the cooks that item should come out ahead of time. Let's pretend that they ordered 2 appetizers. They also ordered 1 order of buffalo wings, and let's say the same guy asked for it, seat 1. So I'm going to add that to the check. On my wings, I didn't hit out first. That's a problem. So select your item, hit the button that says modify, and then select out first from that food preps list. Save the changes. Okay, now we've got everything entered in. We just need to send it to the kitchen correctly in smaller tickets. first thing I want to send to them is going to be these out first items, right? That way they know they need to cook those faster than everything else, before everything else. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to take all of these items. I want these appetizers to be first. So I'm going to start selecting items and assigning them to a different course. All right. I'm going to check off the last 4 items that should be on the ticket. The drinks can or cannot be included. They're not going to be on the kitchen ticket, so it's of really no consequence to the kitchen whether you course the drinks. If you had a ticket with 14 drinks on it, it might be nice to do that for the bartender though. And it works the same way. You would just course the items onto separate courses. With or without food, doesn't matter. The 2 different types of items, the different categories, food or alcohol, are going to print to the correct printer, respectively. So I'm going to leave my nachos and my wings, my appetizers, unchecked. But I'm going to check the food items, 4 food items that need to be split off. So I'm going to select the final 4, the 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to hit the 3 dots at the bottom, and I'm going to hit move, and then it's going to give me my options to a different course. So I'm going to select different course, and I'm going to hit course 1, and I'm going to move them. Now I'm going to look down here, and you can see where those items are on course 1 by themselves. I'm going to select the remaining food items and put them on another course, course 2. So seat 1 with its bacon western, seat 2, seat 3, seat 4. I'm going to hit the dots again. I'm going to hit move, different course, and it's going to automatically populate another course option for me. Course 2, and I'm going to hit move. Okay, so now check it out. Everything moved to that one course. So I'm going to check the items over here. And the computer occasionally has strange glitches like this, or you will have hit a button that you didn't realize you hit, right? In this instance, we still had all those original food items checked. So anytime you've got a box check marked, it's going to include that on whatever function you're trying to do. So I'm just going to leave these first 4 items checked. And I'm going to uncheck the last 4, right? So I have 4 items a ticket. I'm going to move here, right, under course 1. Now, let's take a look at what we've got here. Up here under straight fire, that's going to be the first line of things that's going to print anywhere. I've got my 2 drinks and my nachos and my wings. Perfect, because the drinks can go to the bar and the wings and the nachos will go to the kitchen. I'm not going to send yet, and I'm not going to use the send button down at the bottom like I typically would. I'm not going to use it at all this time. All right, I'm going to make sure my course 1 is lined up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 items on it. My course 2 is another 4 items. Perfect. So I've got this split up in an order that will make sense to the kitchen and make their job a lot easier. I'm going to scroll back up to the straight fire designation. I'm going to select the whole course by just touching out by straight fire. I'm going to hit the 3 dots over to the right, and I'm going to hit fire now. That is going to send that to the kitchen immediately. So that ticket just printed in the kitchen. None of the rest of them did. Now, out beside course 1, I'm going to hit the 3 dots, and I'm going to hit fire now without course. So again, that ticket was just printed to the kitchen. And then course 2, I'm going to hit fire now without course, and it's going to send it as well. So now all of my sent items, 17 sent items, everything I rang in is going to appear here under sent items, right? And those red boxes keep popping up because I'm not connected to a printer because I'm in my office. So if I were in the restaurant, those would not be popping up. I can see here all of my sent items are separated by a line, and that line shows you the order in which they were actually printed. It shows you the separation between specific tickets, right? So the first few items I sent, there's a line under them. My next round of sending or printing, if you will, because every time you hit send, it triggers a print, was those out first items. So I sent them as straight fire and out first so the kitchen can see that they're appetizers, which is perfect. So the kitchen's already working on those. And then back to back, they got my next 2 tickets. And I sent these, and you can see that they changed to straight fire because I hit those 3 buttons and hit fire now without course. If you don't do that and you hit the send button before you have fired those without the course, they're going to print to the kitchen in one long ticket. It's just going to draw a line between the 2 courses, but it's not actually going to print separate tickets. And what we need is to give the kitchen completely separate tickets so that they actually have enough room in the margins to take that ticket and hang it on the ticket hanger. All right, so you can see I've got 2 separate courses here that I sent. Now that all those are done and they're sent, I'm just going to hit send just to finalize and move forward to my next task. So that is how you use courses. If you don't understand it, ask the manager on duty, the bartender, to walk you through a practice ticket, let you practice it, let you send these to the kitchen, and make sure that they know ahead of time not to make them. Um, this is really important though to get right, and it takes a little bit of practice. So please do a practice ticket. But if you don't get this right, you won't get your appetizers when you should. You won't get your courses, in order. Your ticket will be egregiously long, and the kitchen's going to have trouble making it. Or worst case scenario, they're going to shove it to the back of the line because it's overly complicated, and so they're going to make everything else that's easier before they make that ticket. In an ideal world, that doesn't happen, but the reality is if we're really busy, we're all human beings, and so the thing that's the most complicated or the most difficult to accomplish is typically going to take a back seat to all the things that can be completed more quickly.